Sheffield, and here we are. Right guys, pretty cool what we've got going on right here. Introducing you all to CK Goldiing.
Good day.
Good day. So CK, you might, if you've been following any of my tweets or past videos,
We all have.
which everyone does, because you should, it's cool, it's awesome, and we have a giggle. But CK has just come back from London. He's been on an absolutely epic journey down there, which has seen him survive on £100 for 6 months.
6 months.
So tell us a little bit about this amazing challenge.
Right, I went to London with £600. I was lying to everyone. No, I went to London in July with £100 in my camera and a bag of clothes. By the way, I'm a portrait photographer, so I work with people. And my challenge was to help 100 unsigned London musicians with awesome new promotional photos, and they pay me whatever they want for the shoot. And the challenge was for me to get through 100 unsigned London musicians, photographing them and surviving on their contributions before my money ran out. So I was living in hostels, and the money they were paying for the shoots was paying for my accommodation, transport, water, food, everything.
Awesome. And so, I mean, that's been a pretty epic ride, hasn't it? So, I mean, there's been ups and downs and times when it's been a bit close.
Well, the thing is, like, there was no precedent. No one's ever done this before, so I didn't know how long I'd be gone. I didn't know how difficult it'd be. I didn't know if it'd be challenging. But I was just literally learning as I was going along, and there were difficult periods. But I don't even, when I think back on it now, I think back on just how remarkable it was, what I learned, how I developed personally, professionally, and you know, a lot of the things that I survived on were based on the good stuff that you fill my head with, and. Yeah, it was remarkable. It was remarkable. I was on radio, national TV, the press, blah 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 blah.
I think you've been quite modest, though, aren't you? I mean, what national TV was you on?
Well, I was on London Live. Red Bull did a feature on me. I was on like
X Factor.
A few. Well, yeah.
Being modest. Let's leave that one out.
Yeah,
X Factor. So, do you know you've been? It's 6 months in total.
6 months in total. I got back a week, not this Sunday, the Sunday before. So
Right.
it was like I think it was about 200 days, and it was like, yeah.
Wicked, man. That's epic. So, I mean, what was one of the highest points for you on that journey? What was one of the things what's most memorable for you, I suppose?
It's a good question, and I don't like. I think when I think back over it, there's not any isolated incidents that I think back on that are highlights, and the reason for that is twofold. Firstly, because it shredded my memory. Like, my memory is in bits. I'm still trying to recover it because I was just working minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, so I couldn't. So much in my head.
Yeah.
And when I think back on it, I just think about just the overall kindness that I receive from people, because people, strangers that had never met me, I didn't even necessarily photograph them. They heard what I was doing in the press, online. They reached out to me, helped me, put a few quid in my PayPal account, said come stay with me if you need anywhere to stay. So like, just overall the kindness was just remarkable. But then of course there were some times when I was featured in some creative platforms I love, like I adore, like when Creative Boom, Katie, hi Katie, hello Katie, hands up, yeah, so she just so that was also when she just let me when she featured me on Creative Boom. So I've been a massive fan of that platform for ages, and to be in there amongst awesome creatives, it was remarkable. Likewise, Red Bull, and when Loretta had me on a radio show, which is Premier Christian, it was just amazing.
Brilliant, man, brilliant. So what was one of the lowest points? What were one of the times when you felt like, do you know what, I've had it, I'm done, that's it?
This is going to sound so cliche, and there were loads, but I can't remember. I'm really struggling to remember them because my memory is just in bits. But it was, I didn't get any excitement for when I was really low on cash. And like in the early stages, you need to bear in mind, when I went down to London, I didn't know anybody. It's not like I had a plan of friends, like friends I could stay with if things got really difficult. I know no one in London. So in the early stages, when no one even knew what I was doing, it was really difficult and money was getting really, really low. But then I just realised after a while that just stay positive, keep doing all the right things, stay optimistic, go to open mic nights, find musicians, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And that was the pattern that I discovered. Optimism and positivity just bring equal things. It's about the law of attraction you told me about like months ago.
Yeah, totally. And so what you're saying really is that when money was a little bit short, it felt a lot more tough than it would be when when things were kind of keeping you busy and occupied?
Yes and no, because another thing, like, it was only it's all very well me saying this in retrospect, but I didn't realise it early on in month 1 and month 2, but things are only ever going to be as difficult as I perceive them to be, right? But I didn't realise that till like about month 3 that I realised, well, as long as you're positive, everything will be alright.
Yeah.
But the first 3 months I didn't realise that, and I would panic when money was tight. Yeah, like you said, like, there was no momentum and it was difficult and I was struggling. But then I realised, well, you'll be fine. And it's, if you worry and wallow and just, you know what I mean, like stop wallowing in self-pity and how difficult it is, it's not going to help the situation. So then I just realised, well, you'll be fine, smile, get on with it, and that's exactly what happened. Like, whatever energy I put out there, that's exactly what I found.
So that kind of ties in really well to what I'm going to say next, actually, is when you was in them low points, and money was a bit tight, how did you pull your way out? How did you pull yourself out of it?
Well, first of all, I'm still learning, so I'm not the expert. Like, when I was in those difficult times, not like I thought, well, I don't want him in difficult times because I'm human, and that's the thing. You need to, once you recognise you're human, and you're allowed to feel that way. But for me, I don't know how you'll feel about this. I think you're allowed to feel that way, but as long as you recognise, let's not do it for too long. You know what I mean? You're allowed to say this isn't a great situation, but then it's about, well, what are you going to do about it?
Yep.
Are you going to sit here and wallow about it not being great, or are you going to say, well, it isn't great, so let's make it better.
Let's make a change.
Let's make a change. Let's be positive. Let's just get forward. Let's just drive through. And that's where I was. Like, I'm not a machine. Like, I have feelings like everybody else, and I did have low points, but like I said, it's about how you address them and how you tackle them and how you face it.
Totally, mate, totally, yeah. And that's the thing that a lot of people really struggle with. They find themselves in that downward spiral, and it's very easy for you to let it keep you there, and it will literally keep you there as long as you allow it. And like you said, you decide, get up, go to some open mic nights, get some activity, do something, and something will happen. Wherever you apply your focus, your energy starts flowing into it, and you start receiving the same.
Absolutely. And I said this to you once. There was one day when it was I just had a really, really bad day, and I went back to my hostel. Like I said, I was staying in hostels throughout this mainly, and I went back to my hostel, and I remember it like it was yesterday. In spite of what I've just said about my bad memory, I remember this like it was yesterday. I thought, I'm just gonna crawl under my duvets and I'm just gonna go to bed. I'd had a really bad day. I don't need this. And I thought, hang on a minute, what would John? I don't want to stroke his ego. What would Johnny tell me to do now? And I just thought to myself, well, he'd say, CK, go to bed if you want, but like, why? What's that going to accomplish? Just man up. man up. The day's been rubbish, but make the day better. Yeah. So I just thought, I didn't want to, but I got up and I just thought, right, I'm going to go to an open mic now. I need to find a musician because I need some money. So I just went out and I found a musician and I got some money, and it was the next day that I did a shoot. And that's exactly what I mean about, I felt human. I was human. I felt bad, and I wanted to go to bed. I'm not a machine, but then I turned into a machine, and I thought, look, just man up, just go to an open mic night, and that's what I did.
And that's the thing, once you've made a decision, it's the decision that's the underlining key to all of this. Once you've decided that this is what I'm going to do, and it's like the journey from the word go, isn't it? You decided that well, let's do a bit of a backtrack here, actually.
Yeah.
So CK had got offered a fantastic opportunity with a company to go and work with the company as a job.
In a management role.
So it attracted a decent sized salary, and he did really well out of this. But he'd got this concept for 100 musicians, and he was saying, you know what, I'm going to do it. I made a decision, this is what I'm going to do.
In spite of suggestions, I take the job.
In spite of a lot of other people suggesting that maybe he should take the job, he decided, no, do you know what, this is the decision I'm making, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go and do it. And I think that resonates through life as a whole. Once you commit and you make a decision, part of your job's done. Part of your job's done now. You just need to get 100% belief and certainty behind it. And when CK said to me that he's going down to London, he's going to get 100 musicians, I had not one shred of doubt that he would not come back until he got 100. I knew he'd get 100. And I knew it'd probably be challenging. And I mean, you slept outside one night in like a treehouse or something, was it?
I was just going to say, did I? No, but no. Yeah, the first band I shot, this was probably in week 1 or week 2. They said come round with her. But I didn't technically sleep outside, but I did sleep outside because one of the girls that I live with has like a sheet fort, and a sheet fort is basically like a house made with sheets outside. And they said, and I just saw it, and I fell in love with it because and I just said, can I just sleep outside? And they said, yeah, but you can sleep on our sofa. No, I want to sleep in the sheet fort. And I just slept outside for the first time in my life in nature, and it was exquisite. My back disagrees. My back wasn't fond of me that now.
I'm a little bit more intrigued now. So tell me a bit more about a sheet house.
Well, I mean, I've got to give credit to my ex for this. And she introduced me to sheet forts because she used to like building them, but she built them in her front room.
Right, okay.
They look like, so it's basically, the walls are made of sheets, like bed sheets.
It's like a den.
It's like a den, but she made them just remarkable because she had fairy lights and everything, and she put cushions, but she was a massive geek. So yeah, but then when I went to London, this girl who lived there, it must be a thing amongst women. Maybe they just like sheet forts, but this one was outside and I was just mesmerised. Right. I want to sleep.
Was it cold? Was it cold?
No, because this was, don't forget, I went down in July, so it was summer. Sure. It was cold when I left. It was cold when I left, but I went down in July and it was summer, so it was all good. And this is again, you know, something else. I mean, we joke about it a lot, but I realised throughout this, I've always been the guy that likes everything standard. Like, I'll always have the same thing when I go to a restaurant. I like what I like, right?
Yeah.
But because this whole challenge is completely out of my comfort zone, completely new, I'd never done it before, then I started to realise, like, the growth that happens when you do that. So then that manifested in every other thing. Like, when if someone took me out for a meal, like, what do you want? I'd just say, you order for me. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? Just order. But what if I order something you don't like? Well, then that's what happens. Do you know what I mean? I was just up for new stuff all the time, and that's what happened with the sheet for. I've never slept outside before. This could
just
be fun.
do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And like that, just the new stuff that I just kept experiencing. I just think it's enriching. I genuinely do. Like, just do something new.
Kind of like camping, but not.
Should we go camping?
Do you want to go camping? There's a
joke. There's a joke. Don't worry.
Good stuff. So if you kind of had to pick out what was the biggest thing that helped you to get through this, then what one thing was it that actually made such a big difference to you to keep you going?
I'd just say just optimism and positivity. I don't know if they're the same things, but like I said, I realised that by month 2. Like, and I'm glad that it was like 2 months and I didn't realise that, because then it's like how do you know the good when you don't know the bad? Do you know what I mean? And that's what it was for me. And like, as long as and people think I'm saying it through arrogance, but it's not. Like, I never planned on not completing this. Like, I was one of them, like, I'm not going to go there and not
do it.
Why, what's the point? And I think maybe, you know, I don't mind saying this on camera, I'm quite proud. So, like, the thought of coming back, having not completed what I set out to do, just made me want to. Honestly, the thought of it made me cringe. I just couldn't do it. I want to come back to Sheffield. if I ran out of money, I'd have just got a coach back to Hull.
I'm not even coming home. Well, what happened was I got offered this opportunity in Outer Hebrides,
and I'm there.
And I'm staying there. Yeah,
photographing 100 Eskimos.
Now that's a challenge.
That's a challenge, mate. No, proper. That's Project 2 then.
Project 2, fantastic. So, if you want to find out more about CK, where can they find out about you?
Anywhere they wish. Just type in CK Goldiing online.
It's double I.
It's double I. So, John thinks I should use double. CK Goldiing online. You'll find all the it's all there.
So you can head over to Twitter at CK Goldiing, double I in the Goldiing. CKGoldiing.com.
Yeah. GOLDIING.
Or if you on any platform just search for the hashtag 100 musicians, 100 being the number. Rather than spelling it, and you'll find some of the photo shoots he's done, his journey, his videos. Do you know, it's fantastic what he's achieved with this, and do you know what? Just watch some of the videos. It's such the journey's been fun. It's been interesting. It's been great. This is great television. So anyway, awesome.
So what are we about to do now then? Who it leaves to disclose?
If you want, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go and shoot Big Johnny. You need some fresh promo photos.
Some photos, yeah.
So all the press and media clambering over him, and they need some goodness.
We need some good stuff. And so CK says he knows somebody.
he called me yesterday. CK, I really need some new photos. I really need.
Do you know anybody?
That's another old one as well.
Good stuff. Right, okay, guys. So yeah. Be sure to check him out, and obviously if you want to see more about what I'm doing, go to my site, which is johncovey.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at John_Covey, John without the H. So cool, have a good day, guys.
All the best.